Good morning, students. I am Rayeesul Hassan. Today, I am going to throw a light on important points of chapter 6, definition of femininity and masculinity. This chapter has written by Sujata Sen, who is a West Bengal scholar and professor. She has written number of sociological theory in several national and journals and edited volumes. The prescribed essay, Definition of Femininity and Masculinity, is an extract from the book Gender Studies. Dear students, the essay helps you to understand the various social processes enforced by the diverse of institution, strengthen gender definition of femininity and masculinity. Let us have a few of the important points which is related to the definitions of femininity and masculinity. First of all, to understand what and how such definition of masculinity and femininity is necessary. Here, it is very much important to understand how various social processes enforce them to come out from this discrimination. If I'll take the example of family, which plays a vital role, and in the family, the role of a mother is a very important. It means once again here the role of a femininity which comes. For example, in earlier times, women are confined to the four walls of the home, immersed in household chores, looking after the husband and children, and catering all their necessities and demands. In fact, the role of the woman within the family was that of an angel, which is not less than the angel, my dear students, even away from the husbands of hectic work schedule. But here we have to understand the role of the woman is not only within the four walls, because she has to expose herself in all the aspects. For example, one of the great scholar has said, we must remember the context of the women are not born. It means the women have not born, they are made. The women have made by the society. My dear students, please try to understand here that the discrimination itself created by society, it's not a natural phenomenon. If we will go one by one, we can easily understand. For example, every child taught, apart from the psychological or biological difference between the male and female, as we know how in our home and our respective home, how the father, mother, the family members, the elder ones, how they discriminate the male and female. This is also matters. There are difference in terms of expected the roles. For example, people think that for the male only they have to go outside, they have to bring all the vegetables, they have to buy the fruits, they have to do all those physical activities which are more in the outside, that should be done by the male. And whatever the work, the washing the vessels, brooming, soaping, it's only meant for the woman. So this is the mentality where we ourselves create the discrimination of femininity and masculinity. And one more thing, if we come to the gender socialization, it starts from the birth of an infant itself. The moment the baby is welcome, people start to ask what kind of baby, it's a male or female. They won't ask which baby is a good or healthy or something. First of all, the moment the question will, it comes itself, a male or a male or a female. It means here also there is a discrimination. And moreover, if we go to the social stratification, women are considered to be a male property. As we know that always the men are highly dominated over the women, and the women are pushed into the domestic roles like family oriented lives, selfhoods. They indirect followed all this body beautiful. The implication of the active life of his own is not for middle class as well as for the poor man. So here, if you take any example, whether it's a lower class, middle class or upper class, the moment the nomenclature of the women has come, it is purely related to the domestic work. Are you understanding? Now, one more thing, let us throw a light on education. There are a number of stereotypes concerning the gender differences in terms of intellectual abilities of males and females. The educational patterns that can be observed between the sexes, it is believed that women or girls not good at maths or science. Yes, people will say that look at the DRDO scientists, the ISRO scientists, there's so many big scientists or the males. Why you can't take the examples of like so many scientists, so many aerospace people who has dedicated their lives for their Kalpana Chawla. So many examples are there where we can describe that the male are not only dominated in all this mathematics or science or aerospace fields, at the same time the women also having so many examples to prove themselves. But if at the same time the women or believe that they are excellent in languages, social science and arts, right? And people have still today they are having the mentality that, oh, for a woman, oh, your daughter is studying in BSc, better you do one thing, ask her to do after BSc, BA or BCom, ask her to do the Bachelor of Education. After that she may have to get the chances of to become a teacher. Why should this kind of discrimination we should have to have? Why a woman child after her graduation, why she can't go to the science related fields? And now the era is changing, but still in the mentality of the people, it is remembered that still it is dominated that somewhere the women and girls are only suitable for the teaching field. And even today, if you take the example of work culture, if we compare or we go back to a few decades earlier, few decades have witnessed that influx of the women into the labor market. The participation of the women in agriculture and unorganized sectors has been acknowledged. However, the changes have witnessed increasing in the participation of women in the organized sectors. Whether it's educational or infrastructure facility for women, we have opened a number of avenues for the work and employment. If we take the example of today, my dear students, we can see in all the fields, you take any fields, whether it's a marketing, whether it's a media, whether it's a education, whether it's a science, whether it's a mathematics, whether it's a pharmacist, whether it's a medical, whichever the field you can take, the women are nowadays dominating in the sense they are doing more exposures to the world. Next, the main role played by the media. Media influence definition of masculinity as well. The typical media hero present and ideology of masculinity that is dominant, forceful, and the time of brutal. In fact, due to such representation, society is made to see women as caring and nurturing. So growing boy is a given self-definition whereby he has to be different from a woman. It means, my dear friends, the media dominated the world. More age, especially of women or something, becomes a body of type or self-image that is unwanted. But in brief, media creates a easy identification to possess personal identities that continues, and it is in process. I hope somewhere you have got the idea, the discrimination of masculinity and femininity. But in the concluding sentence, I would like to say, feminists, however, believe that biological difference between women and men are very minor, do not justify gender differences. Thank you. If you have any doubt, ask the queries, okay, and you can call me, or else you can send the messages through WhatsApp or text. I will reply for all this. Thank you very much.